How you doing today, folks? So today I have a unboxing for you slash first impressions overview of a custom knife. Now this is in a gigantic box that I can't even fully fit in frame. So let's get it going. Also, fun fact of the day: if you place tape over your name, if somebody wants to do an unboxing on your product, you will. I will be required to physically cut this out because the tape will just keep on smearing the marker. So don't do that. This table's rocking and rolling. Yeah. Hold on a second, guys. Do. This thing's so damn big, I'm trying to grab it through the camera, I was gonna end up stabbing myself in the chest. So we have a box with envelopes in it. That is a interesting way of packing stuff. I kind of respect it. Now, this is not direct from the maker. This is from somebody on the secondary market, but still a full custom. So, this is from Homer. This is a custom knife factory out of, custom knife maker out of China. But he's a very, very nice guy. As soon as I saw this, I definitely negotiated with the person I was talking to. And then I messaged him because I'm really kind of about supporting makers and everything else. And this dude is just incredibly nice, very, very responsive. And just in general, seems like a really good guy. This is a nice box. So, got the COA. The model is a Pelican. Handle titanium, blade white, which I think might mean polished. Steel VG10. Serial number 13. So this is a very low serial number. Date of birth looks like 3/7/18. So not the oldest custom, but definitely a custom. And that gets a little packing material. I'm actually gonna put this all back together because I don't want to risk losing it. And we have it wrapped in another envelope. Jesus. Whoa. Damn. That is pretty. Alright, so immediate first impressions on this is obviously, as I thought, very polished titanium. Got a scratch right there. I don't remember him mentioning that, but whatever, doesn't matter. So this will be an absolute fingerprint slash dirt slash dust magnet. I actually have a sneaking suspicion this is already dirty, dusty, and fingerprinting right now. So 1 second, let's see if we can't polish this up a little bit. Yeah, better already. First flick. Almost. Try again. Okay, so roll it out with the thumb. I'm sure you could spidey flick it. I'm just not the best at that. My fingers are a bit too fat. Hold on a second, folks. My cat is trying to attack a water bottle. All right, we are back. So this is again a VG10 blade, mirror finish, so you can see a blurred version of my face. Ha! Has this very nice texturing up here. Same thing right here. I really like the pivot. That backspacer is really nice too. So this guy also has another model called the Hero, which is it's a lockback. It's a smaller knife. He has like copper backspacer, which is sculpted like this. Copper pivot collar, some other stuff. It looks really, really nice. But this is also a really nice one. Man, So immediate first impressions, I do have a problem. This is a hot spot right here, just the way that this clip, not the actual ramp itself, but just right here is a hot spot for me. And this the liner lock recesses so far into it. Could you see this is like a really, really solid lockup that it makes it kind of strange feeling. You know, it turns the handle something smaller, which would be okay if the blade's stock wasn't quite so thick. I mean, look at that. That is an absolute beast. And again, the handle is small, so it's honestly a really weird feeling. I'm not saying I don't like the knife. I actually really like this design a lot. It looks even better in person. But that's an immediate thing. Definitely roll it out. It does take a little bit of more pressure than it usually would take to roll it out. I'm gonna get this. I just want to point out though, I am not good at Spidey flicking in general, much less on camera. So I'm gonna keep trying. One more time. Redemption. Nope, that didn't even deploy. So yeah, if you have smaller hands than me, don't have these gigantically fat fingers, you could definitely get in there and knock that thing out. I just can't seem to. But again, VG10 steel, have not cut anything with it. This is obviously fresh out of the box, so I don't know what the heat treat is or anything else like that, but I don't really anticipate too many problems. It's just a 4-inch blade from tip to pivot, so probably a 3.75 total of the actual blade that shows. T6 titanium, again, very well polished, has this kind of heat treating to it, which then is also polished over it, so it's kind of blue to the purple to the bronze to just the raw tie. This is a really nice knife. I am a very big fan of this piece. That all being said, there's always negatives to it, and we're going to speak about those in a second. And Mr. Homer, I really appreciate your responsiveness. And I do think this is a actually really nice design, but I'm hoping you're open to some critiques because there's going to be a little bit of them at the end of this. So, a couple of size comparisons. Standard, your PM2. Mind you, I can Spidey flick a PM2. This isn't that I can't Spidey flick at all. Oh, nope, I can't Spidey flick at all. It just might not be my day. Oh, I can do it off camera. That's about it. Anyways, so this is definitely a big knife. It is bigger than the PM2. The blades are kind of similar. The Homer's definitely bigger, but not by too much. In terms of length, it's much bigger in terms of width. Handles are pretty similar. Again, the Homer's just a little bit bigger on terms of the handle width, but still very much an EDC friendly knife, at least in my opinion. Also keep in mind, I am broken and I like gigantic things, so if this is looks ridiculous to you, chances are it's not EDC friendly. So quite a bit smaller than the Benchmade full-size Griptilian. Change the aspect ratio a little bit. See, definitely a much bigger knife than the Griptilian. Though the thickness of the handle scales are comparable, that's kind of about it. We'll do the Paragon Knives Warlock. Warlock is still bigger, but not by too much. It's actually pretty damn close. And the knife that I've been carrying for the last like 2.5 weeks, if I can get the damn pull out, the Tucson TS-123. Big shout out to Tucson Knives. You guys have improved a great deal, and it has been noticed. Look at that patina. Ooh. Also, this knife has like a 10 out of 10 pull. Like, it's hard to open. But you definitely feel very safe using it because it takes so much force to close it that you're probably not going to close it on yourself accidentally. So normally my unboxings are pretty ranty. Normally go about 20 minutes. This one's going to be a lot shorter than that. So let's speak about the positives. I do love this little grind piece. This is just very interesting. You can either get it with this kind of rock texture or without it. You can get it polished like this. You can get it matte. You can get it sandblasted. You can get it a whole bunch of different ways. He does a bunch of different finishes with it. You can get this piece as a different material or a different anodization job. This pocket clip is really interesting. I've not actually seen something quite like that before. That's cool. Look at that. Look how it catches the sun. That is so cool. This pivot, while definitely not being proprietary, you can see that's just a standard Phillips, but it just looks really cool. Just like this gigantic X thing with a little bit of milling along the sides. Everything is pretty smooth. There's not too many hot spots besides this clip and some other stuff I'll mention momentarily. A lot of times when you get polished titanium, it's really, really slick. This is not really slick. It's definitely not very grippy. Like, I can pull it straight out of my hand, but you know, there's still a decent amount to lock onto. When it's actually in your hands, it feels very good and very solid. I don't see me losing this knife. I won't use it for a self-defense knife, that's for goddamn sure, but as far as an EDC, this is actually really good to go. Now, as far as the negative, because there definitely is some negative, again, this clip is a really bad hotspot, like very, very bad. This opening hole needs to have a slight design change in order to facilitate easier opening. The pivot needs to be adjusted a little bit, because, excuse me, the detent needs to be adjusted a little bit because it's both too hard at the same time also too soft, which normally would mean it'd be perfect, but it means that you have to have ridiculously strong hands. Again, I work in manual labor and have my whole life, so I have very strong hands, but then it also doesn't really want to spidey flick. Now, I know you can. I've done it before with opening holes like this, and the person who sold me this, the video they showed me is them flicking it out like it's stuffing. So it's mostly a user error, but there is little pieces that definitely need to be adjusted. As far as the jimping, whenever you deal with jimping, you want it to be relatively close together. Now, it can be thick, it can be deeper or whatever, like this is fine, but it needs to be closer together. Like, I'll give you an example of PM2. You see the size difference and where the jimping's at? So this, I can literally do this and it's not a hot spot, but it locks your hand in very effectively. This, because it's as wide as it is, it doesn't lock your hand in as effectively and it hurts. Now, the moment you have to grab this, you can see that just digs right into your hand. Now, for me, I have big enough hands that I can literally hold it right here. If I want to do those push cuts and everything else, there's ways I can do it. But if you happen to have smaller hands, this is going to be an immediate issue. This is very much a very, very potent and genuinely painful hotspot. Now, the other one is if you're going to have a titanium frame lock, you need to design it accordingly, because while this feels very kind of stout and almost perfect in hand when it's closed, as soon as it opens, this becomes an issue. So this folds in so much to where your finger is both touching right here and the other side, and as such, there's a hot spot on both sides. So it's definitely an issue. Again, the clip, man, the clip really hurts my hand. I might actually just take the clip off and carry this in a slip, but that's how bad this is, which is unfortunate because it's a nice looking clip. I actually really like this kind of barrel style clip, and I've never actually seen that far on a knife. It's definitely an interesting thing. So you can see you have the Pelican Lucky 13 in there, the little serial number. There's not really any skeletonization in here, but it's still actually a pretty damn light knife. These titanium scales are relatively thin, so it's definitely a strange one. My overall opinion on this knife as far as a first impression. As you guys know, I go through a 1 through 10 or a 1 through 100 rating score. Probably an 8.5. Now, the problems that I mentioned, if they were just one piece of it, just the jimping, just the clip, just this little piece, you know, it's not really too big of an issue. But the fact that it's more becomes one. I also really want to know what's up with this right here, because this is, you know, you can see the over travel stop there, but I could completely pop this out if I wanted to. So what is here? You know, what is the purpose of having this little screw there where the over travel stop is supposed to be at if it doesn't actually stop it? And I don't want to bend my lock bar or my frame lock, so I'm not going to push it too much, but like, I mean, I guarantee you I could bend that whole thing all the way out if I wanted to, and just why? That's just a very strange thing. So again, an 85, it's pushing an 80, honestly. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna say it, because this is a full custom, and I always talk about being brutal with the makers and everything else, 80. Which, don't get me wrong, it's still a good knife. It's still actually a really good knife. I'm very happy with this. I don't mind VG10 as a steel. Going forward, I'll probably ask for 154 CM or RWL 34 if it's an option. But I definitely don't mind VG10. I really like the aesthetics of this piece. The burnt titanium, which is not normally my thing, but when it has this polish over it, it really just creates this absolutely beautiful effect. I love the backspacer with this kind of rock texture, which is also mirroring the same exact finish, that purple going to bronze, going to blue. It's very nice. I'm a big fan of this pivot. I don't even know why I like it so much, just really kind of an X or a cross or whatever, but it's just cool to me. And I love the profile when this is closed. You know, when you just see this slight bit of polish right there and everything else is just, you know, the rock texture, and it all sits out well. I really like this blade. Man, I really wish it didn't have those issues, but again, I really can't stress this enough. Those issues are kind of small. There are production models that don't have them though. So most things from Riot are almost perfect. I've never had any issues at all with the TRM knives. So there's definitely better stuff out there. And this is a $400 knife. But mind you, this is a full custom. So this being $400 is absolutely incredible. This man Homer does the best he can to keep things at a really low value for the customer. And again, it's still high quality work, and it's still a handmade custom. This isn't just going to some factory in China and he goes, oh, well, I made this. Like, no, he'll talk to you the entire time, show you works in progress and designs and everything else, and very, very good guy. I look forward to working with him. Again, this is not a custom that I got directly from him. This is from a secondary market, and the guy who did this introduced me to this piece, and I'm really liking this maker, and I'm definitely going to grab something from him very soon. It is the holidays, and I am broke giving all you guys knives and doing my giveaways and everything else. I've actually sold a whole bunch of my collection, but down the line, things are a bit more stable. Definitely going to grab me some of his stuff for sure. So with all that being said, as always, I love you all very, very much. Thank you so much for your comments, your likes, your subscribes, you know, your messages. Like, I really can't stress this enough, that I really and genuinely appreciate you all so very much. Again, just do me this one personal favor though. Just if you have any respect for me at all or enjoy the content at all, just be nice to one another. This life has too much negativity, too much drama, too much hate. Let's just do what we can as individuals to love one another and to forgive and to forget. And I do challenge you to be better tomorrow than you are today. And if you do that, I do also promise you that you will find your happily ever after and your center in life. That's it. I'm done with the hippie shit. As always, I love you. Take care.